Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's Innocence. Today we'll be taking a look at what I believe to be a gem in the list of games coming out in 2020, Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is being developed by the Polish studio CD Projekt Red, and if that name doesn't ring a bell, that's the same studio who made the Witcher series, including the massively successful 2015 blockbuster The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And if you guys don't know what game that is, I'd recommend you get up from whatever rock you're living under and come join the master race of single player games. Okay, so just knowing who's developing the game puts us off to a phenomenal start, but what separates this title from just another one to a must pick up? Well, here are a few things that may help answer that question. Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person action role-playing shooter that throws you headfirst into the urban setting of Night City, a fictional town located between San Francisco and Los Angeles, California. It takes place in the year, you guessed it, 2077. You'll play as the main character V, a mercenary whose sex, face, body type, background, and clothing are all customizable. CD Projekt Red have stated time and time and again that they want customizability to be a big part of this game, and boy did they not hold back. You can even go as far as to change V's strength, intelligence, reflexes, tech, charisma, and the list just goes on, and I love the sound of that. And not only this, but apparently your clothing and other customization choices will alter how your interactions fare with multiple NPCs. For example, and this is pure conjecture, but if you happen to play V as a male and there comes a time where you must receive aid from a woman with androphobia, which is the fear of men, well, that help that may have otherwise been available to you may no longer be an option for you. How insane is that? The consequences of your customization won't stop there, however, because it has been revealed that the choices you make can determine what romance options are available to you in the final game. Cyberpunk 2077's story is now on rails, so you can actively pursue whichever characters you're interested in. So if you play V as a male and encounter a rather gorgeous lesbian female, well, that just means that you're completely out of luck, boo-hoo, an unfortunate circumstance really. But enough about V, what about the setting? 2077 and Night City. There's a lot to talk about here as well. Night City, as described by CD Projekt Red, is an open world megacity in the free state of California. It is controlled by corporations and is unassisted by the laws of both country and state. It sees major conflicts from frequent gang wars to its most powerful entities competing for dominance. So basically, what I'd like to call it, it's a shit show. The city is well versed in robotics for everyday tasks like maintenance, public transportation, hygiene, and pretty much anything else you could think of. The internet is managed by a combination of the major corporations and the army. So this is pretty dystopian. Homelessness is everywhere, but this does not exclude even the poorest of citizens from getting their hands on weapons and body modifications. So basically tech is pretty available and tech is pretty cheap. And this often leads to what the developers call cosmetic addiction and consequent violence. Those threats are often dealt with by the Armed Force Psycho Squad, otherwise known as the police. And because of the overbearing threat of physical harm, all citizens are allowed and in fact encouraged to own a firearm and can use it in public when deemed necessary. They can even open carry. The city also consists of 6 distinct regions that each have their own look and feel. You have the corporate city center, the immigrant inhabited borough Watson, the upper class district Westbrook, the suburban area Haywood, the gang infested Pacifica, as well as the industrial Santo Domingo. The outer areas around Night City, known as the Badlands, can also be explored in the game too. Woohoo! That's a lot to take in. And as if that wasn't enough already, Night City will be completely dynamic, having different events that come and go and are completely out of your control. Think holidays or crime scenes. CD Projekt Red have also boasted a new and improved crowd simulation engine that will replicate realistic crowd and NPC behavior to a rather impressive degree. Wow. Now just imagine NPCs that actually mine one another and don't just have a set path in the street. It seems like CD Projekt Red are trying hard to replicate life, and that has got me very, very excited. Now let's talk about story and gameplay. As it stands right now, we don't know much about the Cyberpunk storyline and what exactly it entails, but we do know just a bit to tide us over. We know that our protagonist V is a freelance mercenary for hire that does off jobs to whoever pays the biggest buck. The currency exchange takes the form of Eurodollars, or eddies for short. And my best guess is that V will eventually take a bite too big to chew in some sort of deal that will eventually land us in a very, very intriguing storyline. If the recent trailers are any indication of plot, it seems that Cyberpunk 2077 will have branching storylines and alternate endings depending on how you play the game. In fact, in the most recent trailer, it shows a male V being forced to witness his best friend Jackie bleed out in front of him after successfully completing a mission for a fixer named Dex. This came as a surprise to many, as did I, because we like most assumed that Jackie, in playing such an important supporting character role, would have the fattest plot armor you could buy, but that apparently is not the case. Anything goes in Cyberpunk 2077, said a developer, so it looks like your actions will truly morph the dynamic of the story and will decide whether or not your friends live, die, or go against you. Sounds bleak. The dialogue in the game has also been fine-tuned to properly support the fast and fluid experience. Featuring little to no static images or scenes, Cyberpunk 2077's dialogue is almost always happening in real time unless you know the game is having a game-changing cutscene, like your best friend dying, for example. What this means is that you won't have to stop what you're doing to interact with the characters or to make choices that actually matter. So gone are the days of interactive cutscenes, and in come the days of being able to shoot who you're talking to mid-sentence if you're willing to pay the consequences that follow. That is a very large deal, because what that means is that Cyberpunk won't drop any hints or hold your hand through figuring out what's the best course of action. Did you wait too long to kill that guy, or did he have more information to tell you that you might have missed because you were impatient? Who knows? And if you want to open fire in what feels like a threatening situation, by all means, have at it, but you better be able to put your money where your mouth is. Or you could take the more diplomatic approach and de-escalate the situation before making any rash decisions. The choice is yours, as long as you remember there is always a right place and a right time for everything. Piggybacking off that thought, and you may want to sit down for this, CD Projekt Red have confirmed that you can get through the entire game of Cyberpunk 2077 without killing a single person. Absolute insanity. In a game all about choice, CD Projekt Red are really putting their best foot forward. So all stealth build players out there really get a chance to flourish in this game, because you can really get through this entire title without shooting a single person. Ridiculous. And speaking of best foot forward, it seems that the abilities you will have in the game will be tied to the physical enhancements you receive to your cyberware. Cyberware referring to the robotic augments you could have on your body. These cyberware upgrades seem to only be obtainable through Ripper docs, or specialists focused on providing cyberware to the masses for a named price, of course. These augments can range from optical scanners and cameras to the arm mantis blades that I'm almost positive everyone has heard of by now. There really is no limit to how many augments you can get, but you must always be cautious of cyberpsychosis, which is described as a technology-induced state of distorted reality as a result of too many augments. Its victims experience a disconnect from their previous rationale, feeling above and superior to all other humans. They will almost always go on a killing spree, similar to the nice young lady we saw in the original posters. Not nice at all. On the bright side, there seems to be an absolute boatload of all the different types of cyberware that you can unlock, including ones that allow you to wall run, double jump, dash forward, predict bullet ricochet paths. In fact, if you get to know the right Ripper dogs, some may even suit you up with the legal military-grade cyberware. I, for one, can't wait to see if we could fire rockets from our arms. That would be dope. And there will also be vehicles in Cyberpunk, to help you traverse through the game's loading screenless world. So far, all we've seen is gameplay of Jackie's car, but one can assume that in a project as massive as this, and with CD Projekt Red behind the wheel, that there will be much more to offer on that front as well. And I do believe that's it. Actually, no. Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves will play a character in the game. Bam. Mic drop. Your favorite Neo and John Wick will also be coming along for the ride, as if this game couldn't get any damn better than it already was. And now I do believe that's it. Everything we know about Cyberpunk 2077 so far, and all the potentially interesting things that it has to offer. The game will be releasing on April 16th, 2020, and will most likely receive a rated M for mature rating, or even possibly a rated A for adult rating. So sorry, little Timmy, you can't play this time. So let me know what you guys think of this title down below, and as to whether or not it tickles your fancy. I, for one, cannot wait to get my hands on it and experiment with it for myself. Anyways, you guys know how this goes. I've been Innocence. Be sure to give the video a like if you liked and a dislike if you didn't. Share it on social media and Discord, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers. Have an awesome day.